Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, 5 Ways to Get the Most Out of Your Contact Center. Today, we're going to be discussing some creative ways that you can improve your contact center and really try to inspire change despite the unforeseen circumstances that we've all been going through. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the agenda. We're going to start off with just a quick introduction of the team at AMC. And then we're going to go into a pre-recorded Q&A session that we had with one of our customers, PFG Australia. Then we're going to get into the main informational section of the webinar and really go into those details about the 5 ways to get the most out of your contact center. Lastly, we'll open up for questions from the audience. I do want to note, if you have questions at any time during the webinar, feel free to go ahead and post them into the toolbar, and we'll answer them at the end. Anything that we don't have time to get to, we will reach out to you individually after the webinar. So here's the team that you'll be hearing from today. I'm Mariah Mays, and I love all things marketing at AMC.
Ashley may be having technical difficulties, so I'll go ahead. Paul Martin from AMC Technology, Solutions Engineer. Been working with AMC for about 20 years now, and I'm glad I see a few people coming in here from some of our existing customers and some of our new attendees. Looking forward to giving you a webinar that's beneficial to you. And Ashley, are you back on?
Yeah, sorry. I'm Ashley Etherton. I'm an account executive here at AMC. I actually have a broad background in different technology solutions, as well as years of experience in working in contact centers.
Cool. So we're proud to share with you all that we are celebrating our 25th anniversary in 2020. Despite some setbacks of our original plans for celebrating, we were planning a trip to Orlando in the fall, and we're having to reschedule. And obviously, we've had changes in the way we work, just like the rest of the world. We're remaining extremely committed to our mission. And then we wanted to share this quote with you all that was kind of an inspiration for this webinar. Now more than ever, we at AMC are acknowledging that people are looking for exceptional customer experience. So in a minute, we're going to hear how one of AMC's customers is doing just that by focusing on bridging the gap between themselves as an organization and really their customers. So I want to go ahead and introduce Soren Ivanovic. He's a CRM manager from PFG Australia that spoke with me last week about how recent happenings in the world have impacted their contact center and how DaVinci has helped them improve. So let's go ahead and I'm going to play this for you all. All right. So what is your name, job title, and organization?
So my name is Soren Ivanovic, and I'm currently a CRM manager in PFG Australia, which is a main importer and distributor of tractors and agricultural equipment in Australia, one of the main 3.
Okay.
And we have a couple of more sister companies, one in New Zealand and one in the States.
Okay, cool. Cool. So what does PFG do exactly?
Well, we import tractors and agricultural equipment, and we sell them to our customers through the network of independent dealers. And that's our setup in Australia. In New Zealand, it's a bit different because we own the dealerships. So we have a network of our own dealerships. But the setup in States is same as here. So we do sell through the network of independent dealers.
Okay, Cool. Cool. So what are like the main functions of your contact center?
Well, the main functions is definitely voice calling. As I said, because we don't sell directly to public, we sell through our network of independent dealers. We don't have that connection with our customers. So we are trying to bridge that and fill that gap. So mainly at the moment, we use it for warm calling, but also to open another channels like SMS and web chat. So we allow our customers to contact us directly.
Okay, cool. So I know you guys have been using DaVinci for a little while now. So can you talk to us a little bit about the benefits and how it maybe has helped your contact center?
Well, I would like to start that from the beginning, to be honest. When we were searching
Sure.
for the provider, in our minds we had an idea that any solution we go for has to be a cloud solution, but it also has to be scalable because we wanted to start small, but eventually we will expand and cover a couple of other two companies that are overseas. So the solution definitely had to be a cloud solution, but it has to have that option that we can have 3 different numbers or more, and they all located in different countries. So we can follow the sun or cover 22 or 24 hours a day with our support center. Now, that was one of the requirements. The second one was that integration to our CRM system, and at the moment we are using Dynamics 365 CRM, and DaVinci provides all of that. Plus, also allows us to move away from one of the call center software providers to another if we want to. So we could start with Twilio, but we could move over to Avaya eventually. But at the moment, AMC is developing its own contact center software, so we are happy with that.
Yeah, great.
And those are the main things, to be honest.
No, that's great. That's good to hear. So I guess I wanted to talk to you a little bit also about how your organization has been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Well, I would say nowadays everyone is affected. To be honest, we were affected, but in a good way. A lot of our staff is working from home still, but because AMC solution is a cloud-based solution, it didn't really affect the business side of our contact center or getting in touch with our customers. But we had 2 pretty bad years here when it comes to agriculture. I don't know if not many people outside Australia knows, but we had a big drought for a couple of years, and there were bushfires. So our seasons were really affected by it because we are seasonal company and we do provide the equipment for our agriculture sector. But since COVID-19 and the government measures to support our farmers and the weather changed as well, we are actually performing really well. We had the best year in the last 5, I would say, so far.
Wow, that's good news then.
It is.
You know, when the state of the world is pretty negative, it's good news.
Well, it is. You know, we have a problem which is not really a big problem, but we are actually having a problem with the stock. So a lot of our factories around the world were closed for a couple of months. So we are now trying to get our stock in the country. And when it all started, a lot of overseas containers were stuck in China, so we couldn't get the equipment here. But it's all starting to move forward now. I guess everyone else is affected the same way, especially our competitors. So it's same for everyone, I would say.
Yeah. So do you think that there'll be any like changes in the future since the pandemic has happened about how you all work?
Well, it's interesting how the people and the companies adapt through this time. If you asked me that question maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I would say no. I would like to see everyone in the office and everyone is working from the office, because I didn't believe in that performance. They're going to have the same performance from home, working from home. But it did work well for us, to be honest. And we have that clarity when it comes to AMC and DaVinci, because we can see our agent activities. We can monitor it from our end. We can still measure the results, and we can still function the same way that we were functioning from the office. So I think a lot of companies would change the way they're doing business after all of this is finished. Our company definitely. We still have a skeleton staff in the office. I think it's office staff. We have 5 or 6 working from the office, and then the majority is working from home.
Okay. So do you think virtual contact centers or even virtual working from home is going to become the new normal for some people, or do you think things will go back to the way they were?
Well, I wouldn't generalize it, but from my own experience, I think it does. Especially nowadays with the traffic, and people are stressed getting to work, going back home after work. It can take hours. I think that some people definitely perform better, but because now we have that capability, we can also measure that and see the performance and compare the performance before and after. And for us, it's working, definitely working.
Good. Yeah, we've kind of found that too at AMC, and it's been kind of surprising and a little bit refreshing even to know that we have that option. Do you all notice that you need mobile more as your agents are working from home with their software at all?
Well, to be honest, I think we were not quite ready for everything. We still have our asset management system, which is quite clumsy when it comes to people using it, or part of our business using it, and it's mainly our logistics department. But having said all of that, we did start moving towards finance and operations, which is also part of Dynamics 365, and it's also a cloud-based solution. So that's probably delayed for a month or so because of all of what happened. But I think the mobile is the way forward. I think it's the way it affected our organization in a positive way, that we really cut our costs when it comes to travel expenses and people using the vehicles and going around and visiting our dealers. I think everyone is starting to realize that the mobile technology and cloud-based software is the way forward for every business out there. I'm working closely with all our sales managers and even my CEO, and we are all. My background is IT, so I was kind of aware of the benefits, but they're all now realizing that we had the tools all this time, but we never used them, and now everyone is starting to use them, and it's great. I mean, it's unfortunately a situation like this with the COVID-19 changed everything when it comes to the way the people are accepting the technology and the way the technology is moving forward and how to use it in the right way. If you asked me this 3 months ago when I was trying to persuade them to use Teams, not many of them would really respond, or they wouldn't have enough time to do it. But nowadays I could hear them talking on Teams and talking to their teams and having their meetings, and it's great. To be honest, I'm really glad that the people realize that there's so much out there that we never really look forward to use, because we thought that's another piece of software. You know, it's another tool that I really don't need. So I definitely think that when it comes to people working and being effective in what they're doing and keeping in touch with their teams, it's just definitely move forward. that's why the AMC is a cloud-based software which integrates into our CRM, and now everyone is people. It's hard to explain, but we've had our CRM 4 years now, and I was battling to get people to use it and see the value in it. Nowadays, everyone wants to use it, and everyone is really, I could see that they're spending a lot of time going through the system and using it the way it's supposed to be.
Great, that's good to hear. So just to kind of wrap it up, I just wanted to know if you could share a little bit of your experience working with us at AMC, or any of your favorite features of DaVinci and how they might have helped you guys.
Well, it's been a while now that we started working with AMC and using the DaVinci, and I've been working with DaVinci team, and by the way, it's a great team. Not that I was working with many people, and I'm actually glad for that. Because we are really close, and I have that open channel all the time with the support team, but also with our account manager. And another thing is that the time difference never really affected us. That's the big thing. So our contact call center software was always up and running, and if it wasn't, it would be minutes rather than hours or days. So the main feature, and I think what I like about DaVinci, is the simplicity. It's really easy to use. It integrates into the same CRM window that everyone already is familiar with. So you don't need to spend a lot of time teaching people how to use it, or add another piece of software for the call center or the call center agents to use. So it's really that ease of use, so you can easily call the number, see the pop-up, open the SMS function, start web chat without really opening another window, and that was a big thing for us. So that was probably my favorite part of it. As my background was, I was also teaching people how to use computers, and that's what I started. And I moved forward to teaching people how to use different software. It's the great thing with the AMC was I could spend 15 minutes with someone and they already know how to use it.
That's great. That's great. Well, I think that's everything that I wanted to talk to you about today. So I really appreciate your time, Soren.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay, so I want to thank Soren again from PFG for talking with me last week, and now I'm going to pass it to Ashley so she can go ahead and start talking about how you can get more out of your contact center.
So what we know as of right now is that there's a tons of polls and data sheets that show a compelling shift into a new normal. The idea of remote work isn't new. However, the demand, need, and movement has increased significantly in the past few months. This recent Buffer 2020 State of Remote Work report shows that 98% of respondents want to continue to work remotely, and almost the same percentage recommend remote work for others. So the topics that we're going to get through today is to really understand, like, how do you cover your bases? How do you future proof and get the most out of your resources? You prepare for the new normal and understand what that means for you. Create self-sufficient agents, evaluate your channels, and build an integrated communication platform. Keep the heart of the customer front and center, and ensure that you have a solid reporting system. So the new normal. We know that remote workforce or policies existed in some companies, but that didn't mean that moving to social distancing policies and teleworking didn't come with its complications. Clearly, I had technical difficulties early in this call, and no matter how much I prepared, they were bound to happen at some point. Companies are still continuing to perfect their technologies and monitor their efforts. And just because some went remote doesn't mean that everyone created a stable environment that can withstand the continuity of isolation phases. It's also more important to remain efficient and engage with technology partners for tools to support customer-focused and agent-easy products to maintain an excellent customer experience. So now Paul's going to show you some features in DaVinci that our customers use to deliver just that.
Thanks, Ashley. And to start off, I just wanted to give you a kind of an overview of what we're going to see in these demonstrative type videos that we're going to just show here and there for showing some of the features that we do have and how we can help agents in general, whether they be remote or in the office. It really doesn't matter. But now with this new norm, it is definitely worthwhile having something like this to be able to move those agents through calls and be able to get them to where they need to be and make it a pleasant experience for the customer at 10. So what we're showing here is our DaVinci agent, and DaVinci agent is our core product. This product usually will embed itself into a CRM platform. Most CRM platforms, Zendesk, Dynamics, Salesforce, they give us an iframe to embed our information, embed our actual adapter into, and then uses it from there to communicate to the CRM and do what it needs to do, like screen pops and things like that, which we'll get into a little bit. So every CRM that does have this is going to have the same look and feel. And that's kind of nice in case you do have multiple CRMs, multiple companies out there that are using different CRMs. It won't matter, the training will be the same. Maybe a little bit different on your CRM and how it works, but in ours, it'll be the same. So I just want to go through some of the areas on what you will see and kind of explain it up front so that you'll have that in your back of your mind for when we do show some of those videos I spoke of. So here we have Pavan, he's logged in, and in the top part here, where you see Pavan and you see the little blue kind of icon on the right-hand side, that's the agent. And that it allows for the agent control. So what we're doing here is we're, in this particular instance, we're controlling a phone. So it can be any kind of soft phone or hard phone or whatever you might be using today. And this will control that, as in being able to do your CTI features and being able to do your agent features. So what I mean by that, being able to have your status of your agent be ready or available for a call, be able to be put themselves into a not ready with a reason code, or go into maybe an after call work. It all depends, again, depending on the type of system you have in the back end, whether it be premise, cloud, doesn't matter. We adhere to all those. Then you have your area where you can actually make a call. And this area here is, you can do ad hoc calling. You could type it in. You can use the dial pad to the left here to press the buttons and actually have the call going in. Oops, sorry about that, people. Went and clicked on the spot I wanted to click on. And you also have down below speed dial. So speed dial is the ability to get out to a supervisor or maybe a survey or something, or a team lead quickly. And you can use that for both. Just calling them or doing some sort of a transfer conference really doesn't matter. The other area that is not showing in here, but you do have the ability to do presence. So if agents are they're logged in, they're not ready, they're on another interaction, or they're actually maybe they are available for a call, and you'll be able to see that in this area as well. So you have all those options to do your outbound calling. You also have the option within your CRM product to do click the dial, which allows you to do that. There's a bunch of other options. We got 45 seconds or minutes, so I don't have time to go through them all. But just realize there's, you got your dialers and all those other features that you can do as well. Down here is the actual call just came in. You're on the call. It's an inbound call. There's an ANI, CLI, however you want to call that, in the actual area here. And there's functionality to handle the call down below that. So you have your hang up button. You have your hold, blind transfer, warm transfer, and conference. Those are your main features that you would have in most phone systems. And you have those, of course, here. And they're more contextual or dynamic, if you want to call it, where they will get associated depending on what's going on. So if the call is just coming in, you're just going to have an answer button because you can't really do much more with that. I mean, you do have the capability of deflecting it if you wish, but normally you're going to answer that call. And if you put it on hold, the dynamic buttons will change to show that you need to take it off hold. Down below that, your caller information. Here we had a single match to Jack Rogers in this particular instance. This can be configurable based on, from our side and from the CRM side to make that however you want it to be. You may want to put an address in there. You may want to put in there's a VIP customer, whatever it happens to be. And then below that is the activity area. We have the activity and the recent calls, so you can have the ability to add comments quickly on that call, especially if you're doing a lot of outbound calls. You've got a call, maybe you have a campaign you want to just constantly do these outbound calls. You have the ability to just go through that list, click, 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 and be able to get that information into the notes and end that call and move on to your next real quick. And part of the area that helps with getting that in real quick is maybe you're just doing really, simple reach out or whatever, and you may have pre-canned messages for that. And I keep hitting my button, sorry about that. The pre-canned messages will allow for the ability to get information in here, and agents can then use that information to add additional information, or they can just go with whatever that pre-canned message was and move on to the next call. Makes it pretty quick. You do have your create new down below, which allows agents to quickly get to an actual new screen to be able to add information into there. These are usually specific objects, entities, whatever you want to call them, inside of a CRM. And then you can also have customized ones. So if you have some sort of customized information, you can put that in there as well to be able to get quickly to those customized objects and or entities and create the record for it. That said, that gives kind of an overview of the actual DaVinci agent and how it will be embedded into your CRM. So I'll go into and we'll show a quick video of an actual inbound call and what it kind of look and feel of and the user experience for that customer, or for them, sorry, for that agent. So now we'll go to the screen I've been going to for the last two times and show this. So you can see we're over here, we're clicking on the agent, we're able to pick what we're going to do, and we're going to go ready. We want to get a call to come in because we're ready for a queue. And automatically that call just comes in, and you can see we did screen pop. We screen popped to Parker. I'm able to talk to Parker. I got first call, first contact resolution. I can say, hi Parker, how are you today? Before I actually answer the call. So if I go ahead and answer that call, you can see dynamic buttons did change. So I'm now able to hang up the call, do what I need to do. If I have to transfer it, whatever it happens to be. The caller information came in, and here I have a member ID that actually came from in this case, Salesforce, because we're doing this in Salesforce. And I'm just adding a couple things into the actual task or the call log. It's being associated to Parker, and I just end the call. And here you have the ability to disposition that call and put it into a call result. So when you go back to that activity later, if you want to report on it or whatever you want to do with it, it will be there and it will be under Parker. And it's going to be under me too as the agent. That pretty much does that for that specific video. It's just a looping through here, but you do have that, that option. We can talk more about how do you have that pop if it was an IVR data or anything like that. But for now, I'm going to let it go to the next topic and let Ashley take it from there.
Cool, thanks, Paul. So the next topic is how to create self-sufficient agents. Something that's always been needed, but now it probably looks a little different. I'm sure everyone can agree that you don't hear anyone commenting on a reductions in their meetings per week, which means now more than ever, agents have to be self-sufficient with knowledge bases, articles, and foolproof resources. They cannot be remote and walk down a few desks to ask a question anymore. We as a business know the call types, and as a standard, the process to solve repeated tasks. You can make this easy with scripts, IVR routing based on skill sets, products, and issues, create queues, and route emails and cases in connection with agent availability. This helps get work done as agents are available, and you can expand communication channels, getting your customers the right solutions faster. Paul's going to talk about how some agents are increasing efficiency with multi and or omni channels.
Thanks, Ashley. So this is just going into a kind of a loop for showing how an actual object other than the voice can come in from. And again, we did decide to pick Salesforce for this particular one, and we do have other CRMs that can handle this as well. But Salesforce, really pushed a lot more on the Omni side. So we wanted to show that from a channel perspective. And what we're doing right now is we're just bringing in a case. Now, we're not reinventing the wheel. Omni-channel, as you can see, is still down the bottom, but we're controlling it. Just like we control your cell phone or your actual hard phone, we're controlling the omni-channel. There's a couple things that are nice about that. Single pane of glass. Agents are focused in one area. They don't have to be going back and forth two different panels trying to do their work. They can focus right on this one panel and get this done. So you can see that, that case come in, they're able to accept it, it goes to the case, and they're able to start working on that case. This can be chat, SMS, custom objects for that matter. It could be anything that is an object within Salesforce, an entity within Dynamics, or any of the other CRMs that are out there that have the ability to do the Omni. You have that luxury to do what needs to be done. You can give the control to the agent, so the agent can have the control. Right now, we got them kind of in a blended state, so they're either getting a call, they're getting a chat, they're getting a case, they're getting whatever's coming in through the queue. Whereas you may want to give that control to the supervisor and just leave that agent as as blended. If you give the control to the agent, then you can have put in multiple presences for them. So voice only, chat only, SMS only. And you have all those abilities to do that in here, and it's all configurable. Again, single pane of glass, makes it easy, great user experience for the agent. And Ashley, I'll let you go ahead and go on to the next topic.
So the next topic is about building an integration communication platform. This really actually ties well into the last topic with the new channels that you're possibly adding in, as well as it ties into the need to be agile in the development of new technology, new needs, and even for events like COVID-19. This is imperative. An important question to ask is, if I had to change my existing platform tomorrow, what would that look like and what would it take? Technology is now rapid fire with new creations and customers having endless resources. So you have to find platforms that can change, grow, and shift with you. Paul's going to share how using DaVinci has helped so many of our customers shift from premise to cloud, add new channels, and go remote while maintaining the same single pane of glass experience he's talked about.
Thanks, Ashley. So what this is demonstrating here is just the ease of being able to add an app. You can see here I'm going in and I'm just adding the speed dial app. I mean, it's a pretty simple app. If you noticed in my original demo, I didn't have the speed dial there. It was on purpose to kind of show you the ability to add these apps pretty quickly. And then on the next video, we'll show how it can be used. So this can be for anything. So one of the things that we talked about, I think, and PFG was talking about pure cloud, the ability to be pure cloud, the ability to not have to have any kind of premise at all, but you may still have a premise switch. And you may need to still use that premise switch. We can cover that. What if you wanted the premise and the premise doesn't handle something? So it doesn't handle chat today, or it doesn't handle SMS, and maybe you have a CRM that doesn't handle it. Twilio is a great example. You have that ability to bring in Twilio and use that as as another channel. We are the only company in the world that supports the ability to not only be multi-channel, but we are multi-vendor, multi-channel. So just keep that in mind, how easy it is, and also just keeping in mind that in a little bit, I'll replay a video and show you how this new app is coming into play. So I'll let you go ahead, Ashley, on to the next topic.
Perfect. So keeping the heart of the customer relationship, something most contact centers are heavily involved with because it's something that differentiates them from their competitors. Our agents or customer service representatives are the front line for our customers. And one thing most can agree on is being remote is hard. You feel disconnected, trapped, and sometimes even underprepared. Some things to consider for your agents is continuous training, keeping them engaged, and ensuring your employees have a dedicated workspace. The less they worry, the better the service they provide to the customers. Provide them with tools to make work easier, not harder. And in a lot of cases, they move from 2 to 3 monitors in an office to a laptop at home. And they feel like they have to work longer hours because they're less efficient during the day. Take care of your agents so they can provide next level service for your customers. Customer experience expectations are higher than ever. Paul's going to share some of the tools our customers are using within our DaVinci tool to provide an exceptional experience for both agent and customer.
Thanks again, Ashley. So one of the things we talked about, and this is just going to loop through here, I'll come to it in a second here, the ability to get everything in front of the agent as fast, as efficiently, and as easily as possible, and make their life as easy, because they're easy, customers are going to be happy. And just from a perspective here, what I talked about earlier is about adding the speed dial. You can see it is now added. The blue areas down here that we're showing right now, highlighting right now, those are your speed dials, and they won't show in this webinar, but if you hover over them, they will show you what they are. And they get used to which ones are which, and they can go and they can put it to an IVR to get a survey maybe, or go to their team lead, like I said earlier, or maybe their supervisor. Just one more thing to help speed up the ability, and you can see in this video, we're kind of doing a conference where a call came in and we're conferencing off using the speed dial and the ability then, to go to complete that. But I do want to add in that all of this, I mean, just the actual screen popping first call resolution or first contact resolution, if you take that and you go Google that, you will find that most people will say 15 to 30 seconds on a call. Adding all this other stuff even makes it more. But if you have 10,000 calls a week and your average agent rate is about $15 an hour, you're looking at saving about $75,000 a week. Making sure that you don't, and you're not losing, you're keeping the attrition of your customers because you're not losing them because they're stuck in an IVR. So you do have that ability to get this through and get it through quickly. And I think that's the part that we're trying to really bring home in these, these latest slides that we have, is that it's making your agents more efficient, and more efficient agents, happier customers. Ashley, go ahead for the next topic.
Awesome, thanks, Paul. So reporting is probably, and I think Paul and I can both attest to this, it's probably one of the biggest ticket items that you'll find when you're talking about any software. It's always important, and perhaps with contact centers, it's now more important than ever. You are able, with the right tools, to get a 360-degree view of calls per agent, call duration, availability, disposition. You can really understand what's happening with your agents, what's happening with your calls, and you can adjust the areas of opportunity. Paul's going to walk through some of the reports that help make impactful business decisions for our customers all the time.
And thank again, Ashley. But what we're showing here is just a Salesforce interactive report. So you can click on any of these, be able to click on, see the actual report, see what's going on. I think, like Ashley said, more than ever, you need these abilities. You need to be able to get the reports. You need to see if you have agents that are struggling. Get them the training they need. Get them, any help or whatever they need from a remote work perspective if they are struggling. And a couple things here, like I said, you got those interactive reports and dashboards. We do have an unmanaged package. You can download that unmanaged package, use them, clone them, build them out the way you want them, use them as is, but they are there for you to use, and pretty straightforward, pretty easily. Like, this is one of the ones out of our unmanaged package that you can use. The other area, of course, is the Omni Supervisor. If you are, you do have the Omni set on, you do have that in Salesforce to be able to see what's going on. You can see the agent is actually in a not ready state. If you saw the hover over, which I'm not showing, you can see it went to the lunch, and I just went to ACW there. So it's showing what's going on. The agent has, or the supervisor has the ability to actually change their state if they left for lunch and forgot to go into a state they needed to be. Again, we're not building that out. We're not reinventing the wheel with Omni Supervisor. It's working off Omni Supervisor. We're giving it a single pane of glass to be able to use it within the phone panel and not have to go over to that Omni constantly to do it. And of course, these lunch areas and things like that, they're syncing up to your backend CTI, your backend telephony and voice provider. So it gives you that ability to report on both sides. And if you want to, bring the data together and get a 360 view. See who your VIP customers, make sure they're not dropping off, making sure that they are, getting the attention they need. And it all comes together in this one, type of report on Salesforce, and or maybe a business warehouse where you're bringing it all together. Ashley, I guess, or I think Mariah, maybe.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Paul and Ashley, for sharing all that information. That was great. So I just wanted to point everyone to a few additional resources if you're looking for more information. We do have a PFG case study on the website. You can find it linked there if you want to hear more about Soren and their story. If you're looking for more general information about DaVinci, you can go to the DaVinci product page listed there. And then if you're really looking for some more guidance on how to really build out your virtual call center, we have a guide on the website as well. So at this time, I'd like to go ahead and open it up to questions. If you do have questions, go ahead and type them in now. I have a few that have already came in, so in the interest of time, I'm just going to jump in. I think this one is good for Paul. Do I need omni-channel for the reports to work?
From a Salesforce perspective, we do have both Omni and non-Omni reports, so you can, and dashboards, so you can, pick that from our page. It's not in the App Store or App Exchange because we don't have, of course, unmanaged packages in there. But when you're working with us, we can definitely get those reports out to you as a link, and you can just install them. But in general, again, you don't need the Omni, but you won't get the Omni Supervisor, of course, without Omni.
Okay, thanks, Paul. I think this next one is probably for you as well. How long would it take to set up DaVinci in my contact center?
So good. That's a really good question because there's a lot of different types. As you heard PFG state that they were pure cloud. Pure cloud, I mean, we're talking a day and you're ready to go. Not even a day. I mean, day is actually putting some UAT in there. If you have a switch on site, like an Avaya or a Cisco or an Aspect or something like that, then we're going to have to do a little bit more work, a little more pre-installation requirements, of course, because we're going to need a server to talk to that. But again, if we get those pre-installation steps all done up front and we jump in, we're talking less than a week, and you can again be up and running and be ready for your UAT. And we're talking like regular out-of-the-box type stuff. If you want anything customized or anything that's really complex, we may need to, to add a little more time to that.
Okay.
Hopefully that
And
answers your
then
question.
Tim just asked, I am upgrading to Avaya Red. Do you support AACC 8.1 Red?
Yeah, I mean, that's another great question, because if there are any Avaya people out there that are wondering, do we support Blue, which was the old Nortel? When Avaya bought that, they upgraded and went to Red, and they're now on their 8.1, which we actually just certified. We're just today, we were told, and I mean today as in, I don't know if you have the time date on this, Mariah, but we just got our application notes back from Avaya that, from our passing of the certification. So they are out there and you can go see them. But again, just wanted to reiterate that the people that don't understand what Red means, that was Avaya after they bought Nortel and they were in the blue zone, they moved on to what they call Red. And Red is usually more SIP-based than the old Nortel when they first went in, first bought it from Avaya, which was not SIP-based.
Okay, and then I think this is a good one for you, Ashley. Susan asked, how much would it cost to add DaVinci?
Yeah, so that's probably one of the most popular questions that I get. Our base cost can be found on any of our partner app stores, but we as a company also work with nonprofits, volume discounts. So the base cost isn't always a fair depiction of the cost. So if you would like a specific answer to you and your organization, the best thing to do would be to contact us directly and we can give you a specialized quote.
And that's a perfect answer because we are out of time for today. So if you would like more information, please use any of these resources to contact us. You can find our website, email, or I have all three of our contact information listed here. So please feel free to reach out with any other questions. Thank you so much for attending the webinar. All of us at AMC are really hoping that everyone stays safe and healthy, and I hope you have a great afternoon.
Yes, thank you, everyone. And sorry, I mean, it's a lot to try to get in 45 minutes, but if you have any more questions, like Mariah said, please reach out. We can definitely answer them for you.